Hi guys, welcome back to the FPL Duo. I'm Huss, I'm joined by Jordan, and today it is the transfer tips video. So we thought we'd go on a live stream for you guys today to discuss transfers, and this is the buy, sell, and hold, ignore series. So a lot to discuss, and we will get through our players that we think you guys should buy and sell, etc. So before we do get started, just have to ask, how you doing, Jordan? Is everything okay with you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hope everyone's having a good Monday as well, especially in the UK as it's really hot today.
Yeah, great weather today we've got here. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a good Monday. Monday evening. Oh, sorry, not Monday, Tuesday today. What am I saying?
Oh, yeah,
Lost
of
track
course,
of time.
yeah,
Yeah, you confused me there. It's Tuesday. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. And yeah, let's get into it without wasting too much of your time. This is the buy, sell, hold, and ignore series. So as you guys know, we select 2 players each that we reckon you should buy and sell, and then we discuss why. So this is the first transfer tips series of game week 2. And yeah, I'm excited for this one. So let's get into it. So let's bring up the first player. I've got some comments here as well coming through. Nanjay says, hi guys. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, let's get started. So the first player is quite an obvious one. The first player on our buy list is Erling Harland. Obviously, we're not going to go too much into his stats because obviously he's played 1 game. He's got 2 goals. His XG per 90 also looks very good. You look at his fixtures as well. His fixtures look very, very good. So he's got Bournemouth and game week 2. He's got Newcastle away. Then he's got Palace at home. Then he's got Nottingham Forest at home. And then he's got Aston Villa away. So a lot of green fixtures in there. He has had a price rise now. He's 11.6 million. His ownership's also at 54%. So obviously it's quite high now. The people that did have Kane from game week 1, they have, I assume, switched over to Harland now, because obviously the way it went, Harland did end up scoring 2 goals against West Ham, and then that's made his ownership rocket up, and he's got the price rise. So yeah, Harland is one that we definitely think you guys should be buying in your team, as I believe he is a great captain option for game week 2 coming up. Bournemouth, it looks, without getting into my team selection, I think he will be the captain for me this week, and he looks very popular. What's your thoughts on Harland, just quickly, Jordan?
Yeah, he's definitely a must-have. If you didn't have him in game week 1, then you did miss out on Harland scoring the 2 goals in the game against West Ham. So yeah, the transfers for Harland have rocketed since then. I think he's just passed 800,000 transfer ins, and he is the most transferred player in this game week coming up. So he is controversially a swap from Kane to Harland. A lot, I'll say, people have gone for, especially with his fixture that Man City have with Bournemouth home coming up next. It's going to be a massive game for Harland to see what he can do against Bournemouth, as what we've seen already against West Ham. It could be even more goals, assists coming from Harland in this newly promoted team.
Yeah, it looks very good. If you do have Haaland already, it looks like an easy decision for captaincy against Bournemouth. I know Salah also has a good fixture against Palace, so you could go Salah, if I'm being honest. If you don't have Haaland, I still think Salah's a good option for this week. But yeah, Haaland looks good, especially against West Ham. He looked very good. So he's in my team. I've had him in since obviously game week 1. And let us know, Kane owners, if you do have Kane, did you switch to Haaland? It will be interesting to know, because I did get quite a few comments on our last video, people asking should they switch. But we will come on to that on Harry Kane in a bit. But yeah, Haaland looks like a great pick, and I think it's only going to get better and better as the season goes on, guys. So yeah, I'd definitely be transferring Haaland in. So let's move on to the second player on our list as a buy, and that is another striker, and this one is Darwin Nunez, who obviously played new transfer for Liverpool. Now, Darwin Nunez is definitely on my watch list. I don't know about yours, Jordan, but he's a player that I'm looking at with a keen eye in the next 1 or 2, 3 game weeks to see how he does, because I think this guy, he could be a very, very good option in FPL this season, because you look at his price, 9 million, his ownership's at what 23% as well, goal and an assist. He only played 40 minutes, I believe, against Fulham. Obviously, Liverpool did draw, but when Darwin Nunez came onto the pitch, he definitely changed the game. So his XG, I don't know if they're the XG 90 stats, because it's quite high there. Are they the per 90 stats, Jordan, that we've got on the screen?
No, they are the XG90 stats.
Okay, so 4.07. So Darwin looks very good. And I think he's definitely one that we should be looking out key eye on, because he's just, when I've seen, what's your thoughts on Darwin? Did you watch much of him against Fulham? Or I don't think you watched the game, did you?
I watched the second half. So when pretty much when Darwin came on, he made a impact straight away. Like we saw him getting into dangerous areas in the box, having shots. I mean, no one could really keep up with Darwin. He was sort of like the Luis Diaz 2.0 when we saw him play against
last season.
No, who they just played, Liverpool.
Oh, Fulham.
Fulham, yeah. Yeah, it's like basically 2.0 of Luis Diaz Darwin, it seems like.
Yeah.
Trying to prove himself, wants to get in that starting 11 for Liverpool. So we're going to see a lot from Darwin, I think, in the future, coming off the bench, of course.
Yeah. I definitely like Darwin, and the only problem at the moment is, obviously, if you've got Harland and you've got Zeus, then it's hard to fit him into a slot. But as Never Give Up FPL says, if you're on a wild card, and his minutes look good, Darwin is tempting to bring in at that price bracket. And I think I need to see. I'm still unsure just to see the minutes he gets, because obviously he did start on the bench against Fulham, so I'd like to see Darwin get some. Is he going to replace Firmino in that number 9 role? Then I'll make my decision whether to bring him in. But it looks like he should be Liverpool's number 9. Firmino wasn't impressive against Fulham, if I'm being honest. And when Darwin came on, he gave Liverpool an extra dynamic to their team. So I definitely think he's one that I'm looking at going into the season. And if he gets minutes against Palace, guys, definitely have your eye out on for Darwin Nunez, because I think he could be the way to go for the rest of the season. But we'll have to wait and see on his minutes just slightly.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, like for me as well, in the position where I have Trent, Salah, and Luis Diaz. Eventually, I would have to get rid of one of those players for Liverpool to fit Darwin in. And I did say I want to keep Luis Diaz in my team, so I'm in a quandary on how, if I wanted to get Darwin in, do I sacrifice Diaz, which I don't really want to do. I imagine other people that have Robertson as well have the same situation of, do we sacrifice a nailed Liverpool player for at the moment currently a bench player who comes on and plays minutes?
Yeah, obviously we all have 3 Liverpool players already, so most of us have Salah and Trent, and then we've chose out of Diaz and Robertson. Now you'll have to get rid of one of them, obviously, to get Darwin in, and that, most of us are going to take hits to do that. So that's why I think right now maybe it isn't an option to go. But if you're on an early wild card, or you're willing to take out Jesus or someone like that, I don't know, you want to change the structure around, he's definitely one that I'll be looking at, and he's firmly on my watch list, and I'm just going to see how he does in the next few weeks if he can get minutes. But let's move on now. We've got the 2 buys out of the way, and we will come on to the sell. So the first player we recommend that you sell on your list, if you have him, is Matty Cash, and that's because, purely because on game week 1, Aston Villa did concede 2 goals to Bournemouth, which was pretty. It wasn't great. It wasn't great performance from Aston Villa. Obviously, still early on the season, so it could be a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to start selling your players. But for the purpose of this video, we had to choose 2 players to sell. And I think Matty Cash could be one that you look to get rid of potentially. He's at 5 million. I know his fixtures aren't bad. He's got Everton in game week 2. Then he's got Palace in game week 3. And then he does have quite tough fixtures in game week 5 and game week 6 against Arsenal and Man City. I just think Matty Cash, what do you reckon about Aston Villa? I wasn't a fan of them at the start of the season. I didn't get the hype with his ownership. Is that what it was over 20%? So what would you take on Matty Cash?
Well, I was shocked that Matty Cash was over 20% owned before Game Week 1 started. So it was a bit of not a surprise that Aston Villa struggled against Bournemouth, as we saw last season with Gerrard. Aston Villa are not quite there. They're a bit on and off in terms of when they play games. They're not always playing at their best. Sometimes they lack performance against teams, and we saw that against Bournemouth. Like, we didn't think the result for that was 2-0 to Bournemouth. We could have presumed that Aston Villa could have fought back and won that game, but no, they lost 2-0, and they should have really won that game, if I'm honest. It shouldn't be a game they should really lose 2-0 against a newly promoted team, especially. And I just think with a player like Matty Cash in defence, I don't think Aston Villa are going to keep a lot of clean sheets this season. I know it's early days still, but as far as we can see from that game, they need a lot of work in their defence and altogether the team.
You could hold on to someone like Cash, obviously, but we had to pick two players for this purpose of this video. But Aston Villa don't look great, if I'm being honest. I think they're Gerrard's under a bit of pressure this season, and Cash is one that would probably be selling if we had and upgrading him to someone. There's a lot of fullbacks in a good price range that you could probably upgrade to. Even Trippier at Newcastle potentially you can go to, or Chilwell coming back from injury. It's Cucurella now if he gets minutes. But yeah, he's the first sell on our list. Let's move on to the next player, and that is Philippe Coutinho. For anyone that has him, his ownership is 16% at the moment. I think that's come down slightly since Game Week 1. So yeah, again, Coutinho, just Aston Villa don't look that impressive, and that is my worry with it. What's your thoughts on Coutinho and Villa?
It's the similar issue to Matty Cash, but obviously Coutinho, he played 81 minutes in that game, and we didn't really see much from Coutinho. It was a bit disappointing because we know how well Coutinho plays in matches, especially from last season, the last game against Man City, where he scored a very important goal that could have potentially affected Man City's title race against Liverpool. But as we've seen so far against newly promoted team Bournemouth, not much. If I'm honest, it was a bit of a disappointment because I would have thought Coutinho would have been the gem in that game, the one to score goals and carry the team forward. But in that game, it wasn't seen at all. It was a very, I don't know what it was, but something with Aston Villa has gone wrong so far in the start of the season, and hopefully they can bounce back from that defeat, and I'm sure they will. But with Coutinho, I think you do have to sell him. He was over 20% ownership before Game Week 1. It's slightly gone down now. It's now 16.1%. So a few people have sold him already, and I'm not surprised at that because he is 7 million, and there is other potential players that you could possibly get around that price mark that could benefit more. Even though Aston Villa have Everton next at home and Crystal Palace away, and then West Ham, then obviously you might have to either bench Coutinho, which you probably won't do. You probably have to get rid of him after Game Week 4 because they have Arsenal and Man City next.
Yeah, of course. We're just with Aston Villa. We are still not sure, but obviously we could be wrong. Coutinho could go against Everton in Game Week 2 and get a goal or an assist either way. But if we had to pick a midfielder to sell at 7 million as well, because there's a lot of players at that 8 million bracket or even that 7.5, there's Grealish at 7 as well, where if we think there's better options. If you do have Coutinho, I think there's Grealish and Mahrez and all these other players, Luis Diaz, Saka for £1 million more, where I'd rather spend my money rather than a Coutinho. So that's just our opinion on it. So yeah, Coutinho is a sell on our list at the moment. Moving on to the first hold, and it is Harry Kane. His ownership is now at 20%, so he's had a lot of transfer out. I don't know the exact amount, if you know, Jordan.
He's had 633,000 transferred out, and he is the top player transferred out this game week.
Yeah, Harry Kane is the top transferred out player, which obviously after they won 4-0 on the 4-1 on the weekend against Southampton, he didn't really score. So I think people knee jerking because obviously people are worried about Haaland and what he could do against Bournemouth. This is the debate I had, guys. When we were speaking in before game week 1, we said if you go with Haaland or if you go with Kane, make sure you stick with them and you're not going to be swayed into if Haaland scores or if Kane scores in game week 1 or they both blanked, would you have sold? Because you can't just think of one game kind of thing. Like that's why I decided to go with Haaland because I knew I'd want Haaland for Bournemouth. So I was happy to go. If, let's say, for example, Harry Kane did get a hat trick against Southampton and Haaland blanked, I would have still had Haaland. I would have kept hold of him. So I don't know about the strategy of people selling Kane off just to get Haaland in. What was that your plan in game week 1? I know it's good to be flexible and stuff, but I don't understand people doing that personally. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, because a lot of people had in mind when Kane played game week 1, obviously Southampton, that they'll swap to Harland in game week 2 against Bournemouth. And I think you shouldn't really be doing that because you want to stick with a player long term. You got to think of the long term aspect instead of the short aspect of it. Like you don't want to switch over a Harry Kane to a Haaland after one game week because it feels like a waste of a transfer. And once you've picked a premium player like that, you have to really stick with them for a longer period. It's kind of a waste if you get rid of them because that is your captaincy pick at the end of the day as well. So I am against it that people have gone.
Sorry, yep.
Yeah, I'm against that people have gone against Kane just because he blanked in the first game and Haaland scored because it could have been the reverse.
Yeah, obviously. Sorry, I was saying obviously with hindsight now, maybe it is easy for us to say that because obviously we are Haaland owners, and if we had Kane and Kane blanked and Haaland got 2 against West Ham, would we have swapped? I don't know. It's hard to say, but before game week 1, I did say to myself that if I get Kane or if I get Haaland, I'm sticking with them no matter what. No matter what the other player does, I'm going to keep the player for at least 3-4 weeks. And obviously, it's interesting to see people have transferred Kane out, but for us, Kane is still a hold. I don't know if that is a popular opinion of people. They probably don't agree with us. I see a lot of transferred out for Harry Kane, but if I had Harry Kane, I'd probably hold. But it's hard. It's easy for me to say because I don't have Harry Kane. I have Haaland, so maybe I would change my mind if I did own Harry Kane myself. But for us, he's a hold at the moment.
I do think that I would hold on to Haaland if he did blank and Kane scored 2 goals.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself that. Would we have held on to Haaland if Haaland scored? If Kane scored 2 and Haaland blanked, would we have held on to Haaland? I think we would have personally, just because he has Bournemouth, and then Kane has Chelsea. So that's the reason why I went with Haaland in the first place because I knew, and I'm gonna want him for that Bournemouth fixture, and then Kane's got Chelsea. But obviously, it's a 50-50 call at the end of the day. We're lucky, Haaland got the goals because Spurs did win 4-0, and it was interesting. Obviously, very surprising to see that Kane wasn't involved. So on another day, Kane could have got 2 goals, and us Haaland owners might have blanked. So it's one of those things in FPL, guys. It happens, and we just got to move on. There's 37 more weeks where we can get points back. So I wouldn't worry too much if you did get Kane in game week 1. So yeah, Kane is a hold, and the second player that we have on our list is Zeus. Another player he was quite highly transferred out as well, wasn't he, Jordan? How many has he got?
Zeus, he was second most transferred out with 250,000 out this week, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of knee jerking happening right now. I think Jesus looked very good on the eye. He looked good. He looked like he was threatening. He assisted. I thought he put a ball in through Martinelli. Martinelli should have scored. But when I watched the game, he looks very good. So I wouldn't be selling Jesus at all. I know he's had 250,000 transfers out, but I think that's way too reactionary. I think keep him. He's got Leicester, then he's got Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa. His fixtures look very good for at least the next 4 or 5. I wouldn't be selling Jesus. I think you've got to keep him. You've got to be patient, guys. It's just one game week. There's no need to take Jesus. If I had him, I wouldn't be removing him. Would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the fixtures from after game week 2. It's got Bournemouth and then Fulham. I mean, you don't want to be transferring out Jesus now when he's got Leicester home next as well, Arsenal home at Emirates Stadium, and then they're playing 2 newly promoted teams after that. and then Aston Villa at home again. So the fixtures are so good for Jesus set up. You definitely want to hold on to him, despite him blanking in the first game week. He was just unlucky. It's not like he played terrible in that game. He played really well. It was just unfortunate that he didn't get involved in the returns that Arsenal had.
Yeah, I agree. I think selling Jesus is just way too soon. It's just been one game week. He looks very good. Easily could have got an assist on a goal. And yeah, he's definitely one that I wouldn't be getting rid of. So that is the hold, guys. So Harry Kane and Jesus for us are both holds at the moment. And then we'll come on to the players, the two players that we think you should ignore for game week 2. And the first one is James Ward-Prowse. He did score against Southampton. Sorry, not against Southampton, against Tottenham in the 4-1 loss. But we would still say is an ignore for him. He's at 6.5 million. His ownership's 10.4%. His fixtures aren't great. You know, he's got Leeds next, which could be decent. Then he's got Leicester, Man United, Chelsea. And obviously that looks quite tough. And then Wolves as well. With Ward-Prowse, I just think he's not I know he did score a nice goal over the weekend, but I just think he's not someone would be looking to get into our team. I just think it's too knee-jerky to bring him in just because he scored a goal against Spurs. I think, well, how many transfers in has he had? He's had quite a few as well, hasn't he?
He's not in the top 5 transfers this week, but he is.
I think he's top 10.
He's just almost had 100,000 transfer ins.
Yeah, I think James Ward-Prowse, as good as he is as a player, I just think with FPL wise, I just not the biggest fan of him because obviously he does rely on a lot of set pieces, penalties, free kicks. He's very good at them, mind you, but he's one we still would be probably ignoring at that 6.5 million price. We think that your money is probably better spent elsewhere, but we like him as a player. We just think for this week we'd ignore him. And yeah, would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, I agree definitely with Southampton. From that result, it doesn't convince me that I want to bring in James Ward-Prowse, as the Southampton are pretty bad still, and still have much to, I'll say, fix in their team.
Yeah, they don't look good, for being honest. So yeah, we would be avoiding Southampton if we're being honest. We'd rather get players from other teams with better fixtures. And you look at Southampton's fixtures; they don't look great. And James Ward-Prowse always pops up with a goal here and there, but he's not a reliable. You just don't know when he's going to score. Really, he randomly pops up with goals every now and then, and obviously he does get penalties and set pieces. So he's one that we'd avoid. Moving on to the final player that we say that you should ignore, and that is Chelsea's Jorginho. And I think this one's quite obvious for us. He's also had quite a few transfers in. He did score for Chelsea's goal on the weekend. Chelsea won 1-0 against Everton. He scored a penalty. And again, as same with Ward-Prowse, whenever Jorginho does score, it is mainly penalties. And we just think as an FPL asset, you don't really want to rely on those type of players that usually just get penalties. Because other than that, they don't really score. They don't really get assists. Jorginho isn't really an FPL asset. I think managers that are transferring him in, I'm quite confused because I just think you rather spend your money elsewhere as well with Jorginho. How many transfers in has he got, Jordan?
He has similar to what James Ward-Prowse had. He had
100,000.
Yeah, just under 100,000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of Jorginho in FPL. I think he's also a decent player on his day, but I just think there's better options to be had. And he's also another one with no open goal threat, really. He doesn't get many assists or goals from open play. Yeah, he does take penalties, which I guess when you do get the penalties is very nice when you have a player that does get penalties, but I just think it's not a consistent, reliable output for FPL points. And he's definitely one we'd ignore. I think you're going to get a lot of, because it's game week 1, whenever a player scores in game week 1, you're going to get a lot of those casual players. Sorry to say that, guys, but obviously, there are casual players that play a lot of active casual managers at the start. And once they see Jorginho scores, they're going to transfer him in because he got scored in game week 1. But Jorginho's not going to score every week, so that's just my thoughts on that. And he's one that I'd be ignoring personally. Let us know, guys, if you agree in the comments as well. And also, don't forget to smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. We're very close to 400 subscribers. And if we can get that, that would be very, very good. So, yeah. And also, yeah, as always, don't forget to drop a like if you're enjoying the content. So, off the top again, let me just go past 8 players again. So, the first two players that we recommend you should buy for this game week 2, Harland and Nunez. We think you should sell Matty Cash and Coutinho. You should hold on to Kane and Jesus. And you should ignore Ward-Prowse and Jorginho. And that is the list, guys. That is the 8 players that we've selected for Transfer Tips Game Week 2. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, we'll be interested to hear your thoughts. So do drop a comment. We are very interested to know what you guys think, even after the stream. If you're watching this after we've recorded it, obviously we're live right now, so do drop it in the comments below. And yeah, we read every comment and we try to respond to every comment as well. So yeah, do appreciate your comments, guys. And also every like helps, so don't forget to drop a like on the stream. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add, Jordan? Because we'll probably wrap the stream up. We don't want to go too long with this one. But yeah.
That pretty much covers pretty much all that we have spoke about in the video. Obviously, we've gone through all the buys, the sells, the holds, the ignores. Obviously, we could have mentioned other players that have done well and not done well this game week 1, but obviously we've chosen the ones that we feel like are ones that we recommend to you guys, of course, just to help you guys out and guide you. Obviously, you don't have to follow our guidance. Obviously, it's your choice at the end of the day, but we're just here to help you and do our best.
Yeah, that's nicely put. Obviously, we're not always it's obviously at the end of the day, the transfer tips, we can only give our opinion. And yeah, but we're interested to see what you guys think regarding our picks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do let us know in the comments below. It will be interesting to know. Never Give Up FPL also says good stream. See you later. Thank you, mate. Thank you for that. Yeah. Also, I've got to say, we are streaming again on Thursday. So do join us at 7 o'clock on Thursday. And that will be the team selection video for Game Week 2. So do not miss that one. That should be a good one as well, I guess. And yeah, Thursday is the next stream. And then we're back on Saturday for a deadline stream. Jordan won't be on that deadline stream, obviously, because he's got another commitment that he needs to go to. I think you got a dentist appointment, haven't you? So
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to be on that stream. But yeah, Saturday, as always, guys, deadline stream. And yeah, we will be back on Thursday. So for now, that is it from me and Jordan pretty much. And yeah, guys, we're going to wrap the stream up here. Let me just quickly shout out Twitter out, because as always, I've got to do that. If you do want to follow us on Twitter, guys, our @ is on the screen right now. It's the FPL Duo on Twitter. Do follow us on there. Also, if you want to join our mini league, the code is on the screen now. The code is also in the description below. There's also an also join link to join our league, so do join us on there. Check us out. And thank you, Brian, for the comment. Good stuff tonight again. Appreciate your comments always. Yeah. Thank you for watching. And yeah, guys, we just want to say thanks to everyone that's watched. And hope to see you guys soon. Elliot just dropped a comment. Hey guys, I'm late. Sorry, we're just literally going to wrap the stream up now, because it's a quick video. We thought we'd do a transfer tips video. But yeah, Elliot, do watch the stream back afterwards. It's not a long stream, but there's a little good content in there, so I hope you enjoy. Boo Boo FPL also says, good to see you, the duo Kane to Harland locked. Well, there you go. Kane to Harland locked for Boo Boo FPL. Let us know what you guys think in the comments regarding that transfer move. Are you going to go Kane to Harland? Obviously, it is quite a popular choice at the moment. So, yeah. But yeah, do you want to take the overlay out, Jordan? I'm going to quickly wrap the stream up here.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, we just want to say very quickly again, as always, guys, we're very close to 400 subs. If you could sub to us, that would be very much appreciated. And yeah, we just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported videos recently, because obviously we've got a lot of support now on our videos and stuff. So we just want to say we appreciate all the love that we've received since we started this channel 8 months ago. And yeah, always thank everyone for watching, really. And yeah, we love what we do. So hope to see you guys on the next stream. Yeah, just want to say thank you to watching our content, really. So yeah, hope to see you guys very soon. And yeah, that's it from me and Jordan. Hope you guys have a good one, and take care, guys.
Yeah, there you go, guys. See you Thursday.
Peace.